We are honored to bring up the founder of Black Trans Liberation Kitchen and a beloved leader in New York City, the one and only Queen Jean.
Students, what shame! They are brutalized our students, our educators, our faculty, the working staff who have protected our Jewish students, our Muslim students, who have protected and been on the front lines for liberation. And so in America, if education systems are fascist, they must be shut down. Fascism must be shut down.
I love you all very much. I'm here to say I pray for you all to have a blessed Passover, and just to show my gratitude. And at any chance that I get to come and say thank you to you directly, I'm going to do that. In Islam, thanking people is thanking God. And I thank God for you every single day for being on the front lines and saying to this administration, to the one before, and to the Netanyahu administration, not in our name. I was going to say that I feel speechless because I'm so overwhelmed by the horror that is being inflicted on the people of Gaza and continues to be, but also what is happening here at home. But then I decided to say that I am not speechless, that I am full of speech, I'm full of rage, I'm full of love for our communities, that I will not be silenced, I will not be tired. And I want to say to those who are not here with us today and actually believe that they are in our opposition. It doesn't matter to me what you believe about Palestine and about Israel. But what we should all agree is that we should not allow for our neighbors to be abducted by the United States government. And some sent to a concentration camp in El Salvador. Just because it's not in the United States does not make it separate from who we are, because we are funding the imprisonment of our neighbors in a foreign country. Shame. Today, a graduate student at Columbia University from the West Bank in Palestine, Mohsen Medawi, was literally abducted from his citizenship appointment. They tell our immigrant communities to do things the right way. And when they do things the right way, they're still being abducted by the United States government. We are in a moment that is very dangerous. And just because it's happening now to visa holders and green card holders, the distance to American citizens is not far from here. And so we have to stand up now. We have to say it's unacceptable now. Because if we let them get away with it, the next person will be you or someone that you love. So let's fight for each other's right to hold whatever views we want to have. Because that is what a democracy is supposed to do. And I want to just lastly share the ludicrousness of this administration, saying that these young people on the college campuses are adversaries to U.S. foreign policy, and using that as the litmus test, as the reason, as the excuse why they want to deport them. We as the American people need to signal to this administration that millions of us oppose U.S. foreign policy. but they cannot take millions of us. So my call to action for you today is this. Stand in the gap. If you are already showing up, show up a little more. Stand in the gap for our undocumented neighbors, our neighbors who are vulnerable because of their immigration statuses. As a born and raised U.S. citizen, and this is for the haters because no one believes that someone like me can be born and raised here, but I do have a birth certificate. Born and raised in Brooklyn, my friends. And that's where I get to fight. That I'm going to stand in the gap, and that I'm going to get louder, and I'm going to be even more brave and courageous than I ever been before, because our fight for democracy, our fight for the sanctity of life of the people of Gaza is worth it. It is worth every consequence. And to my Jewish sisters and brothers, I want everyone to know, and I'm going to be on the record, you didn't just show up 18 months ago when a genocide started. You've been here. You've been with our communities. You have shown solidarity to us for decades in this country, and we will not allow for the weaponization of anti-Semitism against our movements. We will denounce anti-Semitism when it happens because it is dangerous. But we will not allow people to weaponize it to divide our communities, because that is a tactic to divide and conquer us. And we say today and every day that we reject that we are in this together, and that we're going to fight together, and I promise you we're going to win together. And it may be dark right now, but it's always dark before the light. And one day, all of us together are going to travel to a free Palestine. And we will enjoy one another and the beautiful people of Gaza. And all we will hear is the laughter and the joy of the children under beautiful open blue skies without bombs and drones. And you will be able to say, I was a part of that. I was part of the fight for the freedom of the Palestinian people so that we can enjoy it together. Good evening, and I'll see you outside on the streets.
In solidarity with the Palestinian people as they have faced a genocide. You've stood with Mahmoud, with Rumaisa, with Mohsen, as they faced abduction and detention. You're standing with Yunsa as she continues to fight to remain free, because she is still free. And for that, they are deeply, infinitely grateful for all of you. And so this brings me to my concluding thought, my concluding prayer, which I'd like to leave you with. I hope and pray that next year, when we gather, the ceaseless slaughter, the ceaseless and senseless slaughter of Palestinians will have ceased, that your numbers will have grown even more, and that our friends doing as we're told. And so I want to contrast that message with the second message, which is a message of gratitude from Mahmoud, from Yunsa.
Mohsen Madawi at a citizenship appointment by HSI is absolutely outrageous and outlandish, and shows us just how far this administration is willing to go. They continue to target both the undocumented, those with visas, and legal permanent residents, even those who are now eligible for citizenship. And we know it's not far until they start targeting American citizens. And so for me, it's a very scary time, and it's a time for us to wake up and to say that this is unacceptable, and we will not allow them to get away with it.
We have seen very little resistance to the Trump administration's executive actions. And we have seen Trump administration not honor the judiciary branch. How do you envision the resistance to this?
I think that when you have an administration that doesn't care about the rule of law, that does not abide by judicial decisions, it's fascism. We are in a state of fascism right now. And I think a lot of people are afraid to resist this type of administration because they're watching the targeting of folks who are speaking out, whether it be against genocide or against other policies by this administration. So this keep gathering, keep bringing people outside, keep developing those relationships, and really trying to maintain whatever little we have until we hope to see an end of this administration in a couple of years.
The other day during a protest in Times Square, you said that you also were opposed to the United States foreign policy, and that comment caused some stir online and calls among far-right activists for your deportation. What is going on?
This administration is using the flawed, vague exemptions in the law, I guess you could say, to say that Mahmoud Khalil is being deported or asked to be deported because he's adversarial to U.S. foreign policy. And what this government has to understand is millions of Americans are adversarial to U.S. foreign policy. I stand against the U.S. foreign policy against Palestine. I stand against unjust wars. I stand against imperialism, as this government has engaged in it for decades. And so we need to be able to say that loudly, that if you're going to get Mahmoud Khalil, then you have to get millions of us. I'm just going to add that I'm not afraid, and I'm not going to be silenced, and I'm not going to be intimidated, because what we're fighting for is worth it. We're fighting for the soul of our country. We're fighting for our democracy. We are fighting to stop killing innocent babies and families in Gaza, and I think the consequences that come with that are worth it.
I'm working very hard to be a better person, and I have a lot to say about love. And I'm coming from a place not as someone who figured it out, but as someone who is trying to figure it out, honey. And so I would like to begin with a prayer. Is that okay? Yes. Do we like to pray still these days? Okay, amazing. We get to pray together. Oh my God. Stop it. Okay.
Beth Miller, political director with Jewish Voice for Peace. Yeah. So tonight we're gathered here to observe and celebrate the Jewish holiday of Passover, which is a holiday that is at its core about liberation and about freedom. But we understand that tonight the questions and the themes of Passover are not theoretical. We are living in a moment where fascism and authoritarianism are rising in this country right now under Trump. Trump is coming after and abducting student activists like Mahmoud Khalil from Columbia University because they dared to speak out against genocide and to call for an end to the slaughter of Palestinian people. He is targeting student activists because of their belief beliefs and their fight for justice. So we are showing up today to show that if you come for one of us, you face us all, and that all of us stand with Mahmoud and every other single student activist who is being wrongfully targeted for deportation. And we also stand with them in the demand to stop the U.S.-backed Israeli genocide of Gaza.
Every single
What is your reaction to the latest detention by ICE?
So just today, there was another Columbia student who was this time abducted from an immigration office and taken, and again, targeted for deportation. Once again, this is shameful. This is straight out of an authoritarian playbook. This is another student activist who is being targeted to be expelled from this country because of their political beliefs, and we demand their immediate release, and we stand with them in their organizing and in their demand to also stop the genocide of Palestinians in Gaza.
Out by a settler colonial state.
I'm so sorry.
Would you like to add anything?
No, thank you.